It's really annoying playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare every day, knowing that the devs intentionally had in mind that this game was designed for the noob players. This was their original design for this game. That's what they wanted to do it for. And it's annoying playing it because after hearing them discuss how they wanted to make this for a more noob-friendly environment and less for the more hardcore players, you could see it in all the designs of this game. It's really aggravating at certain points. Noobs just completely dominate this title. Now, there is specific things that you can do. You can, of course, slow down your playstyle, predict locations a little bit better, knowing where head glitches are and stuff like that, where people like to camp. It's things that you can do to kind of counter it. But the noobs have so many advantages in this game compared to past titles. When did we ever really see new players get treated so well? They used to make fun of noob players. I keep saying new or noob. I'm like combining the two words because they I guess they're both the same thing, aren't they? A new player is technically a noob because they're new to the game. But they used to make fun of new players camping and playing, very passive compared to players who know what they're doing. They know the maps. They can push a little bit more aggressively because they know what they're doing. They used to make fun of those type of players. And now they completely did a 180, and now they're saying that the new players are the best, and they're, telling Infinity Ward is sending messages to people telling them to use claymores and camp in your safe spaces. This game was I don't know how they ever came up with this idea. I guess it is one of a kind. We can't lie about that. We never seen a development studio say, you know what, let's make a game for the new players instead of the good ones. Now, you do see people like EA DICE with Battlefield obviously changing the time to kill to help the new players a little bit. That's the only reason I could really think of that. Either that or, I guess it's more skilled to make the time to kill longer. But I feel like they also changed the time to kill to help new players so they don't get instantly melted for not knowing certain locations, because they will die a lot not knowing where to go or where enemies are going to be at. So with more health, they can kind of navigate the maps a little bit more. So I can understand why EA DICE did that, but it still didn't completely outright affect all the hardcore players. Now, yes, a lot of people were in outrage over this update, and I think they actually did a minor revert, not a complete one, but they changed some of the time to kills on weapons. So I understand that they did mess with it to try to make it the best of both worlds, but it didn't completely outright ruin the game. Modern Warfare from the ground up was built for new players that had no intent to give any of the skilled players or any of the seasonal players or players who've been playing for ages. They had no intent on creating this game around those individuals. They only wanted to make this game for players who are new, who never played Call of Duty, for players who don't know how to play FPS games, who need, one step into the actual FPS arena. They made this game for noobs, and at the expense of the rest of their player base. Now, I guess the noobs are the majority of their player base. I guess with all the people who don't watch YouTube, I'm pretty sure that the majority of the people who watch YouTube or follow, Call of Duty players on Twitter or anything like that are pretty, skilled players themselves. At least holding a 1 KD. But I'm assuming that there's tons of players with insanely negative KDs that play this game on maybe a daily basis, maybe every other day, maybe every other week. But there is an audience out there of players who are noobs, and that's what this game is designed for. But in Call of Duty World at War, there was an outstanding game mode that I remember. It was called, I believe, Boot Camp. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was called Boot Camp. But there was a game mode in World at War where only the low-leveled players could enter this game mode. And then afterwards, once they, what's the word I'm looking for? Once they pass, I'm just going to say pass. I don't know why I was thinking so hard for a nice fancy word. Once they pass a certain level, they go ahead and they now play with the rest of the community. No insanely thick matchmaking or skill-based matchmaking to be exact in this game. They just said, okay, new players are new players. They'll play and be noobs for a certain amount of time. But after that, they need to learn. They need to learn how to get good at the game. So once they pass that level, they get kicked out of that noob game mode, and now they're forced to play with the rest of the community. I think that was an outstanding game mode. I actually remember, I think it was a glitch back then. You can definitely leave a comment if you remember this glitch, where you could actually get into boot camp after you pass those levels. It's basically the same thing as reverse boosting in Modern Warfare, but instead of reverse boosting, you just, do this little glitch, and you get put into boot camp with a bunch of players who are level 1s through 10s. It's their first time playing Call of Duty World at War, and you would just completely mop the floor with them. It was such a fun glitch that you can get into that lobby, even though it's really mean to, play a bunch of new players when you're level, like, Prestige 50 or whatever. I mean, I'm over-exaggerating. You guys know me. I love to over-exaggerate things. But it was a lot of fun doing that. But this boot camp mode was amazing. This was the replacement of skill-based matchmaking. Now, with skill-based matchmaking, the second you do one good game, because for me, it's usually my first game is pretty newbie, and then after that, I get completely demolished with bad lobbies. Now, if I hop off the game for like 10 minutes, close the app and all, and maybe do something, come back and play it again, the lobbies kind of loosen up, I think, just a little bit. But the second you get another good game, the matchmaking goes straight south again. It's very strict matchmaking in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. But boot camp was perfect because I think that it allowed noob players, or the new players, to understand the game, understand the fundamentals of the game, the design aspects of this title. They get to learn how to play with other noobs, of course. They don't have to, it's not like they're level 1 and they're instantly getting skill-based with, level 50s already. It's not like that. You verse other noobs as well. And then once you pass a certain level, you're able to go out and verse other players. Now, in Modern Warfare, I would say, maybe like level 15 to level 20, you would be able to play in this boot camp game mode. And then after that, you go into regular matches. No skill-based matchmaking to protect you, because that's all these developers want to do is protect people instead of letting them learn from their mistakes. But it's none of that. You get out of boot camp. You're no longer a new player. You are now a actual, player. You played enough time in this game to be decent at it. So now verse other competitive players and begin to learn the game and begin to grow as a player. I love the boot camp mode. It's extremely underrated, and I don't know why they took it out of Call of Duty. It was only in one game that I remember. I don't remember it being implemented in any other Call of Duty game besides World at War. It really was an awesome, very underrated way of handling skill-based matchmaking. It made things easy, clean, and you didn't have to worry about any sweat. Every lobby was just nice and cool in World at War. You had your competitive games, but you also had your, more casual games. You had a nice mix. Modern Warfare is just a straight sweat fest, though. It's no in-between. There's no casual. There's no, in-between spot. It's all sweat. The second you start doing good, you instantly have to sweat. It's just very obnoxious. So I think the best way to handle this skill-based matchmaking issue in Modern Warfare is to possibly bring back the boot camp mode. And even if they don't bring back the boot camp mode in this game, which I highly doubt they ever will, I think the way that this game is playing right now and the skill-based matchmaking they have right now is staying. We're kind of stuck with this probably until the next Call of Duty title. But with Black Ops 5, I would love to see the implementation of boot camp. I think a lot of players would enjoy it, and a lot of players who haven't played World at War, who are new to the series, would think it's a very cool thing as well. It allows noobs to be noobs, and then when they grow to be good players, they are now put out into the rest of the community, where they have to learn, adapt, and get better at the game. I think it's a great way to handle things with Modern Warfare. But please do me a huge favor and go down into the comments section and let me know what you think about boot camp. Do you think boot camp should be implemented into future Call of Duty titles and just completely strip the skill-based matchmaking, or just significantly turn down the skill-based matchmaking and then go ahead and put in boot camp and allow the new players to be noobs and then progress to being a better player? What do you guys think about it? And also, did you guys play World at War? And do you remember this boot camp game mode? And correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not really even sure if it is boot camp. It's just the name kind of rings a bell, so I'm pretty sure that is the name for it. But of course, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. If you hated it, you could always dislike it. If you're brand new to this channel and you enjoyed what you saw, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel and hit that bell notification button. It's always appreciated. Also, if you want to chat with me or see some behind the scenes clips, you can follow me over on Twitter at JbowenDaMan. And also, if you want to catch me live streaming, I do some of that over on Twitch as well at JbowenDaMan. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.